I just want to commend Kim for being so brave for being here because this is just about a month after she was attacked. And I just want to say that it's amazing to have her here and be a voice for the other victims.
You bet. I say that to both of you because I've dealt with a lot of victims of violent crime, and you do feel violated, and you feel like it can happen to you anytime once it happens to you, and it changes you. And I know that it's changed both of you. And you say that yours and Kim's case is a clear example of the downfall of the progressive reform that has really kind of infiltrated the criminal justice system, and you should know because you've worked in that system.
I was a prosecutor until November of this last year, and what I want to say is that I think a lot of people who work in the system, they're well-intentioned and they want to get help for the offenders, but in our case, I felt like the court forgot about the victims. He had multiple victims that he had attacked. He was on probation for attacking 3 separate women by the time he had attacked me. And he was given multiple chances to go to a mental health program, but it didn't really have much consequence because he could walk off at any time. I felt like in our situation, why do victims have to fight so hard to be heard? We shouldn't have to be in that situation.
Well, no, 3 or 4 times that he's been given these alternative sentences, he's just stayed a few times, stayed a little while, and then disappeared. So they know that. They know he's not suited to that, but they put him in it again, he walks off again, put him in again, walks off again, put him in again, walks off again, and reoffends while he's out. Now, I was really interested in what you said in your victim's impact statement, and I just have some excerpts of it. When I found out that this court chose to reinstate the defendant on probation without considering the impact on me, it was offensive. How many more women did the defendant have to hurt for it to matter to the court? He does not appreciate or learn from the privilege of probation. He deserves a timeout from society, so one less person has to worry about their safety. This was offensive to you, right?
It was, especially, like I said, I was a DA at the time, and just, you see a pattern and you think that there's going to be accountability. The violent offender, his rights are being considered above mine, and why should I be collateral damage, or why should another woman be collateral damage?
Who are seeing the effects of George Gascon's policies. 98% of our prosecutors, of the line prosecutors, voted to endorse the recall of this current DA because they see the effects of his policies.
LA County has had a lot of early prison releases. And one of those, Gascon's directive allowed the release of suspect Andrew Cachu. He was serving a 50-year to life sentence for murder, rearrested for drug, firearm, and fleeing from police charges. And what happened with him?
This is another example of his ideologically based policy. The DA said no person who's ever committed a crime while they were a juvenile should ever be held accountable as a criminal. In other words, because of the way that the juvenile justice system works in California, their jurisdiction ends at 25, which means that the only way to properly hold some juveniles accountable for heinous acts is to send them to the criminal system so that they can be in custody for longer than 25 or after 25 years old. Cachu was one of those people that had been tried in the criminal system, was brought back to the juvenile system, and again, George Gascon, not using a case-by-case analysis, not looking at the individual facts, made a decision that all people in that guy's situation should be released. And of course, he was released and is now charged with another crime.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what